Sam was talking about the MLF. Are you with consensus that we are going to see it cut?
Oh, yeah, definitely. This would definitely happen because the PBOC already cut the reserve repo ratio earlier this week. So this pretty much secured the MLF rate.
All right. And what about looking forward? Of course, the LPR.
And that's also 100% going to happen if the LMF means, the LPR can be lowered. And of course, all this is what the economy needs. The economy has lost a lot of momentum in the recent months. And there is a strong argument that the Chinese policymakers need to offer some support. And this 10 basis point is just a starting point.
All right, starting point. So even with cuts to MLF and LPR, you've still revised down your growth forecast for China this year to 5.5%. What was it before?
Well, so to us, we always thought the recovery needs three things. One, service sector normalization, which actually is still more or less happening. That's the more okay part of the economy. Then second, we need the housing sector to do well. The housing was doing quite okay at the beginning of the year, but then suddenly it just lost so much momentum, and now it seems there is a downside risk there. And the third thing is, the other sectors, i.e. the goods sector, need to do okay, but that part also seems to be in trouble. So two big parts of the economy out of three are not doing enough, which makes it very hard to keep our initial forecast of 6%. So we'll have to revise down.
I've seen in your notes earlier this week that you've referred to this as a drip mode of easing that may not be well suited to actually containing the mounting deleveraging pressure within the economy right now. Are you saying that perhaps this is a bit too broad to be effective right now?
Well, what we meant is that, if you look at the problems, the issues of the Chinese economy is debt, right? You have developers that their debts, it's very clear. A lot of them are not going to be viable, but they're not cleaned up. They're still there. So it's dragging down, the housing sector. You have, the local government debt. The local governments obviously don't have much capacity to deal with their own debt. So what happens then, it becomes sort of like a fiscal drag coming from the local governments. So this is the real issue here. So if we were to think about in the structural term, how can we get the Chinese economy on a more sustainable footing? It's actually the debt restructuring they need. Of course, all these cyclical easing like rate cuts or some other things will be helpful in terms of stabilizing short-term dynamics. But medium-term, long-term is still going to look very challenging.